Welcome to A Quest for Metal and welcome to another ranking video. This one from one of my Patreons, so shout out to all my Patreons, David, James and Jared. You guys are awesome. And this is ranking of the band Furia, which is a Polish black metal band. And just like the name suggests, Furia, it's furiously good. That's not a pun, it is actually furious, and some of the songs are really fast. Well, there's some slow stuff, but we'll get into that. We are ranking them from my least favourite to my favourite. And this is a band with a very interesting sound. It really reminds me of bands such as Odraza and Afski. Bands such as that, more like Odraza, actually. Because I love them, and as soon as I heard this, I was like, holy shit, this reminds me so much of them. Which makes sense, because they're both from the same country, but I first heard this band when, I don't know if it was one of the commenters, I don't know if it was David who actually told me to listen to one of the songs on the live stream, but I listened to one of the songs and I really enjoyed it. The middle part I was a bit iffy on the live stream because it got a bit slow, and I was a bit kind of throwing the pace off of the song, but after re-listening to the albums and listening to the songs in the albums, it kind of fit the mood. So I've kind of changed my stance on that, and I think it's actually quite good now. But yeah, let's go from my least favourite to my favourite, starting with the third album. Now, I'm going to start sounding like Brad Pitt from Inglourious Bastards if I try and pronounce any of this. Arrivederci. Because the name is Marzannie. I'm not Polish. I would butcher the fuck out of it. But all the names of the albums will be in the description below, so you can check them out yourselves. But yeah, the third album is my least favourite from Furia. The reason being is, even though this album is actually quite good, and I did have it a bit higher than another album, but repeated listens, this has to come last for the pure fact that it kind of lacks originality. All the other albums kind of stand tall and have their own merits and different things, but this one's just it's good black metal. You know, it's just standard good black metal. The songs on it slap, but it's just nothing stands out that gives it that kind of edge. And again, I had it higher than another album, which, admittedly, at first I didn't like as much as this one. This one's an instant like, oh, okay, this was pretty good. But another one's a grower, and you know growers, they seep in, they sneak in at the end, take the legs out from you. It's a pretty standard black metal album. It does have some kind of death spell-esque, like, dizzying riffs on this. And the third track's so good with the kind of clapping part, like the clapping part near the end, in the middle, so, you know, it has fun songs on. I'm not knocking it. It's a great album, but something has to come last. And this one just lacks some spark compared to the rest of the album, so that's why it's here. So, the next album is the latest one. This one I did have last for a long time when I was going through them, because it is such a slow burner of an album. There's a lot more strange songs, a lot more slow passages in songs. It's more proggy, it's just more avant-garde in just every way. But that's kind of gives it like this edge. It kind of gives it a more unique stance than the previous album. It has such a jazzy opening to the album, creepy atmosphere, but when it hits like a goddamn truck. So a lot of these songs kind of fall into this, you know, jazzy, creepy opening section, quite long songs, and then it'll eventually evolve into insanity, pure goddamn insanity by the end of the song. A lot of the songs kind of fall into that trap, but it is interesting. I do love the progression of the songs, and, you know, give this album more listens, give it more chances, and it will grow up. It will grow on your list, so maybe in a year, after listening to the band even more, this might be even higher on my list, but at the moment, it's coming in here just because the other albums are just better. I will say that the fifth track is so, nightmare-inducing. Kind of feels like Psycho with a shower scene coming to the end of it with the tones like dun, 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 dun. Oh, that fifth track is amazing. And there's a lot of parts in here that remind me of Funeral Doom. That's how slow some of the parts are. But I love Funeral Doom. So, you know, it's all good to me. It's all good to me. But yeah, really enjoyed this album on multiple listens, and it's coming here on the list. Next up is the second album, the sophomore album. Did they fall into a sophomore slump? Absolutely not. I haven't mentioned the debut yet, but this is a step in the proggier direction from the debut. That was more interesting, weird, crazy black metal, which I know I love, but this took it and just elevated the songwriting, and just everything on here is just, I can't say better because I haven't mentioned the debut, but different, and I love them for that. I love the differences in the albums. Like the very first song, once it gets into that groove, into that melody, it's so hypnotic, and you won't stop just like trancing and bouncing your head around. And the second track even has like an Opeth like transition, and the whole end of the song reminding me of, say, like King Crimson or Opeth. Like such beautiful music, like going from crazy ass black metal to this such beautiful and serene music is a testament to how good songwriters they are. Because this album is fucking fantastic, and I could easily have it as number 1. At the moment it's number 3. And I adore it, and I love the more leanings towards more progressive style of things on this album. But, yeah, no, this album's fantastic. I wasn't sure on the sound of it at first, but I kind of grew into the sound of it. But yeah, now I thoroughly enjoy it, and it's coming here at my number 3. Coming in at number 2 is one of the first songs I heard from this album. It's Nocel. I can actually say the name of that one, or Nocel. Well, I'll probably fucking butchered it now. This album is flawless. Holy shit, it has everything you need. It has the short, fast, punchy, aggressive songs. It has the long, sprawling songs, almost funeral doomy, kind of like on the other album. There's terrifying screams, like on the 5th song. There's just such a mood and an atmosphere, just unsettling atmosphere on this album, which I just adore. But it's beautiful all throughout. It is beautiful all throughout. So I think this is the culmination and the best album in the kind of proggy, more experimental albums. This is easily the best. Easily the best. It is the first one I heard. That's not going to take away from all the other albums. It is the first one I heard, but I adored it straight away, and I can't get enough. I just can't get enough. This album is flawless from start to finish. The only reason the debu's higher is because it somehow even tops this one, which is ridiculous. But yeah, I do love this one to pieces. The 5th track especially, oh my god. That track is insane. And I love just the dynamic short songs and the long songs. It has everything you need. It's a perfect album. It's coming here at number 2. So coming in at number 1 can only be one album, and that is the debut with Martwa Polska. I think, not Ivana Polka, but Martwa Polska. This is just the best. As soon as I heard it, the first time I heard it, I was like, this is going number 1. This is going number 1. From the terrifying primal screams, I was like, I'm in for some wild shit right here. I'm in for some wild shit. And I'm locked in the whole way through, because the screams in this album are the best in any of the albums. It's got the power, the speed, and even the urs. It even has some urs, like some death metal urs. What's going on? Turning into Tom G. Warrior here. Such good guitar passages and solos, like, that just transport you into just the nether realm. You don't want to leave. You're swirling around in a vortex, just like, whee, black metal fun. And that's what this album delivers. Greatest screams ever. The most haunting atmosphere. The greatest performances. The solos, the guitars are better on every song on this album. It's just better in every way for me. So it had to be this album. It instantly grabbed me by the balls and didn't let go until I was coughing up blood. And that's the experience of this album. Furious, primal, just insane with amazing guitar. And can you ask for any more? Can you ask for any more? Because I can't. And that's why this album is top of the pile. So let me know down below. Have you listened to this band? What did you think of the ranking? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Go check them out if you haven't. And we'll see you again on another Quest for Metal.